You ever try to bring up politics and you cause a cataclysmic event of triggering? Happens all the time to me, and I don't mean for it to happen. All I'm trying to do is tell people that it is important now to understand what politics is. So, what the drive-by media, woke corporations, Hollywood, what they're doing to us right now is a slap in the face. We need to combat this propaganda and this indoctrination. And in order to do that, we have to teach ourselves a new framework of thought. And that thought is questioning and challenging the narrative that's being pushed out. I don't care what side you're on. You have to start waking up and trying to take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and we all have to preserve the individual liberty that America was founded on. So politics is important. Most of us, I think, if I said, hey, let's define politics to me, I think a good majority of us would be like, oh, probably something to do with the creeps in Washington and maybe the science of government. And I'd say, yeah, you are correct. But there's a deeper definition of politics, and that's what we're going to learn today. So we'll go into a quick, deep political science version, the definition of politics. And then we got a couple sound bites from this guy named Yuri Bezmenov. He's an old KGB defector. He put out this interview in 1985 warning the issues with ideological subversion. So we'll hit that real quick. And then after this, I guarantee you all of us are going to be charged up, ready to go, and ready to challenge that dang narrative. So real cool hot topic, politics. Here we go. Politics, pronounced
politics.
Yeah, very good. It's a noun, plural in form, but singular or plural in construction. Whoa, that's a mind bender. Let's go down the full definition of politics. So look at number 1 real quick. The art of science or government. I want to skip all the way to 5. The total complex of relations between people living in society. We're getting a little bit deeper now. So then break it down even farther. Look at relation. Oh, relations. Maybe like a meeting between two people. Close. The act of telling or recounting? No, I want you to look at number 2. An aspect or quality such as resemblance that connects two or more things or parts as being or belonging or working together as being the same kind. Where the hell are you going with this one, Nino? You may be asking that, but listen, when you look at it, politics isn't just about government. Politics is actually the study of everything. It's intertwining and it's in our lives. But the problem is now we have such a radical hostile takeover of the American government that the rapid indoctrination and propaganda are being exploited by the same people that we thought were on our side. And it's apparent, but I want to show you a quote from Thomas Jefferson. You know, I've been looking back into the founders recently because of their wisdom, and I've been changing my framework of thought because I want to sit back to not only the original intent of this founding nation, where we, with sticks and stones and a couple soldiers, said, screw you to the British crown, and we created the most prosperous and virtuous and free nation on earth. So I went back to Thomas Jefferson, and I read this quote that says, the good sense of the people will always be found to be the best army. They may be led astray for a moment, but will soon correct themselves. That correction is now. A lot of people are waking up to the tyranny that's being thrown into our faces. But a small problem right now is a decent amount of people are still being led astray. And that has a lot to do with the career politicians, these woke corporations, the disastrous Hollywood filth that they're putting out. And you may not pick it up, but it's actually happening, and it's subliminal because you ever catch yourself looking at a news feed on your phone or something, and then all of a sudden 35 minutes go by, and you're like, what the hell did I just learn? Did I learn anything? That's a trap, and that's a point. Now, not only are they data mining you that whole entire time, but they're pushing an agenda, and subliminally, you're not even picking up on it because that's the way it is. So this interview that Yuri Bezmenov, that KGB defector, went, he warned America back in 1985 about ideological subversion. But he mentions real quick in this article that the greatest paradox is this.
The greatest paradox in history of mankind when capitalist world supports and actively nourishes its own destructor.
Now, he's not talking about capitalism. He's referring to the capitalist world. So at the time, during the Red Scare, of course, look what the American people did in 100 years, or civilization in general. We went from the Wright brothers flying a paper airplane to us traveling at Mach 10. You know, that's a little stretch, but we're traveling fast. It's not capitalism. The capitalists, say Netflix, Hollywood, the media, and even some of the corrupt politicians, they are manipulating the system now to further the big dupe. So he goes on within that interview, and he mentions that the ideological push of what they were doing back then, brought to you by the KGB, is now the same exact thing, but now it's up to us to recognize. If you ever watch any of these internet meetings that this regime, our current regime, the Biden administration does with, say, the Chi-Coms or the Iranians or anything, they're all pushing the same talking points that the American left are pushing in the in the drive-by media. Yuri Bezmenov goes on and shows, he mentions the fact that this is the ideology that they were pushing then, and I want you to listen to it and actually try to recognize it yourself in today's world. This is what he says. Play audio soundbite number 2.
Most of the problems, most of the burning issues of today can be solved simply by meditating. Don't rock the boat. Don't get involved. Just sit down, look at your navel, and meditate. And the things, due to some strange logic, due to cosmic vibration, will settle down by themselves. This is exactly what the KGB and Marxist-Leninist propaganda wants from Americans, to distract their opinion, attention, and mental energy from real issues of the United States into a non-issues, into a non-world, non-existent harmony. It's more beneficial for the Soviet aggressors to have a bunch of duped Americans than Americans who are self-conscious, healthy, physically fit, and alert to the reality.
Oh, man. So that's huge. Now you can correlate the fact that politics is important, because now politics, which is the study of everything, they've manipulated the American mind to sit back, to sit down, to meditate, but not meditate with you, meditate to the government, meditate to the nanny state. They are distracting us from what matters, and that is preserving the individual liberty and founding principles of the freest and greatest nation on earth. So we have to wake up to that. But when you think about the meditation, the nose to navel from back then, you're like, oh, no one's nosing to navel now, and kumbaya. And our nose to navel has been manipulated by the phone. Now we're down on our noses to our navel. Psychologically, it's the same thing of meditation, but now we're not meditating to better ourselves. We're meditating to escape from the filth that's in the news, the filth that these corrupt politicians are. Now we're getting lost in our phones with social media and all that, and that is a very scary, scary place in American history. But we have to wake up to that. We have to identify how to combat this propaganda, this tyranny, this indoctrination. It all starts with doing something like this. I can't do it without any of you, so spread the word. Like and subscribe, but remember this, always stand up for liberty. Don't be afraid to challenge the narrative. Until the next time, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Nino G Show. Catch you on the next one.